Welcome back, class, to the third quarter of this Final Fantasy IV walkthrough right here on Video Games 101, back in Baron. Like, I realize we eradicated the evil from Baron, seemingly, but, like, we don't have the budget to have a guy at the door. Just saying. Voices from the basement, I'm scared we'll check on that a little bit later. We're not quite ready for that. We'll get a powerful call from going down there, a powerful summon for Rydia. Boss ordered us to attach this hook to the Enterprise. Always kind of sad at the end when they're like, give Sid our best for us. Tear rolling down my cheek when I was a kid. We just can't bear it to tell them. You do need some... They do a very nice job. It's like Shakespearean, the balancing of the drama, the tragedy, and then the little comedy here, a little lighthearted. The guy that seems to know what he's doing and the screw-up. You guys know what you're doing? Just wait till we get Edge in the party when we start modding these things. Alright. The hovercraft, man, where'd we leave that thing? Sid is having trouble with him, but I won't blame you. Ugh. Just couldn't bring ourselves to tell him. Alright. I think we left it up at, yeah, outside. What's that, Mount Hobbs at this point? Now, northwest of there is Eblan. So we already looted that place topside. So let's just take the hovercraft and head straight in to the cave. And there's some loot here to be had. Or is there not loot to be had? Let's be honest. Be more efficient if I just said there's no loot to be had here. Don't look for it. Don't expect it. Cut-throughs here. Ironback and Black Liz. The fellows around here not worth our time. Sure you can. Item which seemingly we have no use for. None of our party members can use that particular weapon. Shuriken. And we've got an open slot. Breadcrumbs are there. $1,200. It's someone's job to come up with the random amounts of money that you find in these chests. Nah, 1,200, whatever. And you find like a massive amount in one of the chests. You're just like, are you sure about it? Was that really meant to be like 82,000 gold in a single chest? Rethink that. It's like the budget of a decent-sized country in this game. Thought you were monsters. So this is where the people of Eblan have taken refuge. Wouldn't be the worst idea to stock up on some... Need to get some more tents, some more lives before we do our grind a little bit later. $700. Only because you guys are hurting. I'm in the middle of nowhere right now. Let's go. And there's some, where are the people of Eblan? Yeah, well, duh. power staff for her. There's some armor for Rydia. Black, I don't know, mage outfit or something. Give her the power staff for now. She actually does pretty decent damage from the back row with that thing. Again, it's all just gravy. It's not why she's here. Keeping us on our feet. So ultimately, that's where we're meant to go, up north. Let's pop in here right quick. See all the refugees here. Mom's pregnant. Oh, is that her in the bed? Wait, naming way, are you the father? You been shacking up with this Eblan lady? Alright. I don't know what he does in his personal time. That's fine. Good for you, naming way. I'm sure you'll come up with just the perfect name for that child as well. Or every time the child talks to him. Would you like to change your name? Dad? Can't you just say I love you like a normal father? Would you like to change your name? It's so sad. We're not fighting any of these guys. Not worth it. Yeah, no one gets around like naming way. My goodness. We'll find him. Well, I don't want to give anything away. If anyone's new to this game, we're gonna go places, so suffice to say. Prince went alone. Get some treasure down here before we head up. Stop. Hearing a lot about this prince. That end up here. Ugh. They all gotta use their same super slow move. Good lord. Nada. Giant bat and cave bats attacking you in harmony. Cure 3, that's a good get. Yeah, some of these treasures you can only get from a certain side. The one up top we'll get, I think, after we meet the prince, before we head out of here. Couple elixirs, that's a nice little passage there. I feel like they think that, quite genuinely, that we can't see that there's a little difference in the color there. Prince loses his temper easily. 800 bucks. As soon as we switch to radio, we get attacked. Coincidence? Yes. 850, life. Almost through. Note the cutaway here. Real monsters. Couple stale, man. Yep. You guys don't intimidate me like you used to. Especially when I think you're relatively weak to the, decently. This is a deep sleep. Getting smacked by stale, man. Sleeping through that. Gave you up, right? It's a good boyfriend, taking a hit for his lady when she's about to get smacked by a giant rock enemy. As you do. Yeah, I used to play with those guys. Don't know why. Talked about that before. Drain Sword.
Alright, the Drain Sword will give you a knock to your attack power in relation to some of the other swords you might be rocking at this stage in the game, in exchange for healing you for the damage you do to enemies. The sole exception is on dead enemies, in which case you'll actually take damage and heal them when you hit them with this sword. It also gives you a 5-point knock across a handful of stats, so meh.
Meh indeed. Thank you very much, please. That little move. Yeah, good 5 hours 14 in. God, no, anything but an egg. Run. Expect Birdo to pop out of that. Now you can see that chest up there, but once we get to the top... Red bones and skulls. Their fire weakness, as undead typically are. There he is. Hey, Rubicant, I was waiting for this day. Have I met you? What's that? That's so disrespectful. My goodness, Rubicant. Rubicant's Technicolor Dreamcoat. This is just a... What? Yeah, I mean, come on. You know the guy's name. You should know enough about Rubicant to know that he's not weak to fire. He loves fire. Oof. Oof. About that fire armor. He's easily the most complicated of all the fiends, though, Rubicant. He'll heal you up to full strength before you fight him, because he's all about the honor and glory. He wants to be a fair fight. I respect that. Yeah, kind of. Can you? Tella, yeah. Oh, I didn't even mention Tella. That's right. Tella, Palamporum, Yang, Sid. I don't know who any of these people are. Can't keep this pretty girl crying. He's got a bit of a scumbag in him. Here too. That's her top shelf stuff at the moment, Edge. Hope you appreciate that. Sadly. Thanks, girl. You're cute too. Lothario of the group. Yeah, give me a break. Ninja Edge.
Edge is a great addition to the party. Really puts members like Edward in perspective, as if he wasn't already, but anyway, in addition to a great base physical damage and speed, but admittedly low defense, Edge has a number of useful skills, even in our version of the game for a change. These include Dart, which allows you to throw certain items and weapons for big damage. Very useful and recommended that you reserve this for bosses, by the way. Sneak, which allows you to steal items from enemies. There's some decent opportunities as we head back into the tower, by the way. And Ninja, which gives him up to 6 powerful spells you'll acquire through advancing the game and or leveling him up, including 3 elemental spells which hit all enemies in Flame, Flood, and Blitz for Fire, Ice, and Lightning respectively, Pin, which stops an enemy, Smoke, which allows you to escape from some otherwise inescapable battles, and Image, which makes a party member invulnerable for a couple turns. Edge's excellent blend of relevant skills makes him arguably the most versatile character, whether that's mixing in some elemental spells, tossing weapons at bosses, or doing some decent damage with his weapons. By the way, Edge can dual wield his bladed weapons. There's a formula which explains the damage he does when holding 2 versus 1, but math aside, 2 blades are generally better than 1.
It's as simple as math gets, thank you very much, Blaze. Can we talk about what just happened a minute ago, by the way? Edge just plowing through the wall and no one had any questions? Watch this. Just never ask me to do that again. It's incredibly painful. I just love that. He will. It's like, oh, you can go through any wall? I'll be using that constantly. Alright, well, no. The party trick, I could do it once every 20 in-game hours, so it leaves one heck of a rash. Nice to have Kane back in the fold once again. Fluff, you got a quick one on Kane?
Even though Kane can't cast magic, a 2-frame animated sprite was found in the data of the SNES version, which represents Kane casting a spell.
It just looks like he was wishing for something really, really hard there. Thank you, Fluff. Another monster chest here. Make sure we're putting our best foot forward before we pop open the lid. Monsters! Yep. 4 of them this time. I think since we have it now, we just learned Blink, let's go ahead and use that. Yeah, this one might take a while. Fluff, you got another fun fact about Kane you want to share with us?
Despite Nintendo of America's aforementioned censorship policies relating to removing religious references, there's several references to the Old Testament of the Bible. The Tower of Babil is named after the Tower of, Babel, albeit spelled with an IL instead of an EL, and Cain gets his name from the story of Cain and Abel. This is somewhat acted out in the game. While in the Bible, Cain kills Abel out of jealousy, Cain in this game tries to kill Cecil multiple times, and his feelings for Cecil's lady and Rosa are hinted at more than once. There's even an overt reference to this biblical story, as Cain's ultimate weapon, at least in the versions of the game with the trials, is called Abel's Lance.
Good call, yeah. So we've referenced the subsequent versions which feature that a couple times before. Anyone played those versions of the game? I think you can just, as Fluff mentioned, just grab those after you defeated the final boss, so it's just sort of bonus content, but that's fun. I don't know who you'd want to use those OP weapons on after you've already defeated the final boss, but I always like that when developers put in whatever it is to keep you coming back to the game. Little touches like that. Might not have been the move. You just make that mad ogre berserk, Rosa? Then there was one. I do like that effect, though. The visual on Cecil there. crit. I mean, 500, but I wouldn't really call that a crit. But the screen lit up. I haven't got a lot of those. Pretty rare. Yeah, Tony, that power staff. From the back row, no less. Rosa doing. Another ogre axe. Putting up some good numbers. Grudger, Mad Ogre, and 2 balloons. There's a motley crew. Trained to think there's a fat chocobo in that spot. Clocking at the Tower of Babil. I get around. Working both sides. It's a living. Don't judge me. I got kids. Ooh, middle sword for edge. Like, you got the short, the middle, and the long swords, just each giving you like 5 extra damage. We just keep working our way up with a pair each time. Love the animation on the Mad Ogres, just don't like the feeling when they punch me in the face. Right? Tent time. Tower of Babil's a bit more tech forward than the one in Illusion of Gaia, say the least. Although it did have kind of levitating elevators in that one. And it broke at one point and the vampire had to take me upstairs. The one I just beat up in a battle, actually. I love that game. But I digress. Alright. Alright, almost alright. You can even conjure in sorcerers, no room. Surrounded by 2 blade men. That's the one. 82,000. Like, you sure you didn't just leave your finger on that 0 key a little bit too much, Squaresoft employee? We'll take it. Edge, Mom, Dad. I'm glad you were fine. So am I. Come with us where? To the dark world. What? Alright. I will bring you all down to the Hades. Okay, there's something from like an Alice in Wonderland fever dream. And I know that's already kind of a fever dream, but... and then some. Alright, K and Q Eblan.
Boss beater. No strategy this time, just block and watch the cutscene.
Snack time, I got you. Thank you, Gary. Don't go too far. We got a real one coming up here in just a moment. Maybe try to steal something from your dad. Stole car keys. Alright, this Friday night just got a lot better. Or a cure one. That's good too, I guess. That'll be good for the hangover, which follows the Friday night. Something about Edge's facial expression kind of reminds me of one of the Kunio-kun type people, like from Super Dodgeball or something. Someone on that team. His head would need to be a little bigger, obviously, but if anybody else sees it. It's me, Edge. Don't really look like you. I mean, did your dad always have wings and like weird parachute pants and claws and a tail? Is that your dad's normal look that he rocked? Oh. Wait, they're not evil anymore because they changed colors. This is their normal look. Yellow parachute pants. Still gonna try to rob you. Edge, listen. Your mother and I getting a divorce. Oh, yeah. Well, I think we could have figured that on our own. I must not live long. Sorry, dear. What are you supposed to say when your parents reveal to you that they're monsters and they're leaving for Land of the Monsters or Hades or wherever they're going? Heavy. Nice. Oh, I mean, sorry, Edge. Rest of our lives. The rest of us are like, would it be in poor taste to do the dance? The victory dance? Rubicante. Like that little picante. Never gonna forgive you. See? I'm not like the others. That was a D move, he's saying. Power of anger. There we go. Edge's hidden powers. Flood and Blitz. Flood's gonna be an important one for this one. So you can adjust your equipment before you get into this battle. Some fire armor here. Guess you'll just have to kind of gut it out, Kane. Got the fire shield. That's something. That should do us. Firebrand will be effective. And he'll top us off as mentioned. Alright, Rubicante.
Boss beater. Our Rubicant can be a tough one. In fact, I recommend you come in a few levels higher than the professor is here, but focusing on Rubicant's understandable weakness to all things ice and water related, and with a little luck in terms of timing, you should be able to handle him regardless. This boss will intermittently raise and lower his cloak. When his cloak is up, he'll counter most attacks with fire too, not to mention any spells or abilities related to ice will heal him for a few hundred HP. For what it's worth, casting a fire spell on him while his cloak is up will make him counter with a revive on everyone, so it's a good way to get back in it if most of your party is down. The key is obviously not attacking him outside of Cecil's ice brand when the cloak is raised, but you can get a Flood or Shiva primed when you anticipate he's near the end of his raised cloak cycle. If you bought the Ice Lance, then Kane can get in on the physical attacks, but I prefer to keep him and Rosa on healing duty so the heavy hitters of Flood, and especially ready as Shiva Call, can do most of the heavy lifting. Keep it up, keep an eye on your health, especially when he uses his glare, which will kill most members of your party in a single hit, but eventually you'll outlast him, take him down.
Thank you, Gary. Rubicant in the Technicolor Dreamcoat right there. That is a look right there. I feel like he's living in the 60s. Never quite moved on, that Rubicant. Ready? We could be quite quick about this. Yeah, I'm not going to get another Flood off. There we go. Not that this is gonna win the day or anything, but it's gonna help. Oh yeah, tasty. Oof. That might not kill us. Yeah, there we go. That would probably kill anyone else, but that won't take down Cecil with his setup. That armor goes a long way. Still a bit too soon to try that flood. Just gonna keep that thing up for... about another turn. Now is probably a good time to do it. Get in the queue. Come on, put it down. Put it down for Shiva. Or he's just gonna kill her, isn't he? Yeah, he sure is. Okay. Yeah, it's premature. Man, he's keeping that thing up. Nice to get that. I don't even mind the retaliatory flames right there. That's just a good hit. We'll take those 2100 from Cecil. Taking either. He's got wrestler's mask on his head. Alright, we're all very weak. It's gonna be a gutsy win right here. Gutty win. Yeah, I didn't think he's gonna stick around that much longer. He's gotta be close. One more flood might do it. One more flood might do it. One more flood's gonna have to do it. Oh no. Edge. Make it count. Cecil. This'll do it. According to the tally in my head. Oh. It's the most satisfying win. Yeah, maybe a couple more levels. I think we're due. I think that's what the game's trying to tell us. Well, we got a couple levels here. Weak people can join force. You just call my entire party weak? Ah, well, he did almost kill us. Dad. Mom. I avenged him. Yeah. You were an important part of that battle, actually. Don't tell me you fought through throngs and throngs of enemies. You would die so quickly. You ran into one mad ogre, you would crap those Chamberlain pants. Cloak, whatever you're wearing. Let alone 3 of them. Nah, he's with us now. He's like the most competent help we've had in a while. He's not going anywhere. Okie dokie. I don't know if he would say okie dokie. Alright. But maybe let's try to get back on our feet first. You know what? It's not the worst spot for life. I bit my cheek, the inside of my cheek at the end of that battle. That's how exciting that was. Apparently we measure excitement in cheek biting, but... Looking good. All right, finally, all the crystals and... The thing is, I knew that was there. If we could... If Edge only could have done one of his little jumps, we could have had, what, 7 crystals? That's so frustrating. To come that close. We have to seem really inept to all the rulers of this world. They're like, alright, well now there's only 3 crystals left. We'll stop it. There's only 2 crystals left. Don't worry, they're safe with us. There's only 1 crystal left. We already lost it. You idiots. They just keep putting their faith in us, I guess because no one else is volunteering for the job. A free airship? Let's call it Falcon. How do you like that? Hurry it. Okay, go Falcon. That's right, we have 2 airships now. Falcon can be our weekend airship. Clearly. Still can't fly over the lava, though, so let's head back. The Dwarven Kingdom. With our tail between our legs, hat in hand, we screwed up again, King Giat. Not well. He's like, alright, well, let's go to Plan F. No, we just failed Plan F. Plan G? We're in the middle of failing Plan G. Alright. Come up with Plan H. We'll do our best. I would not give that key to the sealed cave to these people, but... Again, who else are you going to give it to? Alright, so before we head out... Seeing that we can't fly over the lava to access the sealed cave, we're kind of stuck here, you would think. Might as well. Acting like we've earned this rest. I'll charge you $1,200 on account of how much you've been screwing up. The cymbal guy. He's the real star of that orchestra. Eats a lot saying it's tasteless. Sid! You're not dead? But you explode. We saw you explode. You could not have been closer to ground zero of that explosion. How are you? Whatever, I'm just glad you're seemingly okay. Handsome, skilled ninja. You know what? I'll allow all the bluster and everything because you deliver results, Edge. Only one left. The Enterprise is up there. Yeah, we stole the Falcon, but it can't fly over lava. Can't do anything without me. Alright. You're jumping from bed to bed pretty good for a man who just exploded. Taking the infirmary help with him. He seems okay. Yeah, he's fine, says Rosa. I love that response. Yeah, he's fine. They're like, I mean, we don't really know anything about airships. This little makeshift. And he pulls Edge into it. Edge just wants to slack and hit on the ladies, but Sid putting him to work. Doesn't make any of us work. I love it just immediately. That line is drawn, their button heads. Breaking that fourth wall, I guess. That's fine. You're allowed to wave at the camera, Sid. We thought you were dead. You wave at anything you want, my friend. Yeah, there's nothing there. It's a fun little cutscene. I was gonna say, did he die again? No, he's just sleeping. He's overworked himself. Sleep and get well, lolly-lo, lolly-ho. Strange but nice guy, Lolly. Yeah, he grows on you, that Sid. As most of them do. Sid's taken on a lot of forms over the course of the Final Fantasy series. What's everybody's favorite Sid? Leave a comment. It's too many to choose from, honestly. And a lot of classics. Not a whole lot of stinkers or duds. All right. Well, at this point, let's stop off at, what's this place called? Tomra. Get a bit of loot. We get some of those tiaras. I know I neglected to take it off of Porum earlier when she iced herself. And you think you just take it off of her being frozen like that, but apparently it's not how that works. So we'll be buying a couple now for each of the ladies, as this will boost their spell casting abilities, especially Rydia. Clearing up some space here, trying to hold on to some swords for Edge to toss later. Of course, once we get the Avenger, well, once we get there, I'm sure Fluff will have something to say about that. You just cut through here to get to the weapons part of the shop. And get another middle sword from to fill in that gap. I guess a chain for Rydia. Here's like your lightning. So we got the fire protection, the ice protection, the lightning protection. Looking pretty good. Anything else? Runes, good. Ice. Diamond. Yeah, I'm good with the strength. Yeah, all elementals are accounted for. Give her the tiara. And give him his other middle sword. Embarrassed to still be holding silver at this point in the game. Don't judge me, Tomra. Sales dwarf. Specific sentence. Good, looking good. Yeah, rock the ogre axe for a bit. Alright, so a number of options of where to grind now. A little bit of treasure. Hi-ho. Where is that? You don't say a lolly-ho. What do they say? Ho-lolly or something? I've never heard that expression. I am a farmer. Okay. Gotta say something. Alright. You don't mind if I take your loot, right? They say they never get visitors, so they're just happy. Take what you want. I appreciate that. Not a bad idea to stock up on some tents and stuff as well for the grind. Yeah, I'll probably go to the Sylph Cave. Mentioned this earlier. It pays slightly lower outside of the cave in XP, but you don't have to worry about the Toad Lady or the Marlboros or Malbors, whatever they're called. Whatever it's shortened to. You know what they are. The giant... Well, you know one when you see one. It's a Final Fantasy staple. But they love their bad breath, status-changing effects, just status-crippling effects. Better said. Probably best to just run from those guys, but But that's our next destination. Plenty of cures, plenty of tents. Just sticking to the front of the Sylph Cave for the most part. Doing some grinding and then popping back out, pitching those tents, maybe doing some fights outside, excuse me. Getting choked up thinking about the Sylph Cave. It's the strangest things was bring it out. Edge's mom and dad just bearing their souls in their final moments to their son. Nothing. But once I started thinking about that Sylph Cave, just love a good grinding spot. That's what it's all about. So, to the northwest we go. Sometimes you get a 6 spot of ghosts, which is nice. They pay out pretty well, and they're weak against ice attacks, so just hitting them hard with Rydia, using some Flood. If you're immune to at least one status effect, which is changed by bad breath, and you're immune to all of them. There you go. Maybe 4 ghosts is the max, but yeah, probably aim for to get everyone in kind of the low 30s. Rosa learns a very important spell in Float at level 32, I believe, which is extremely useful for traversing this and the other cave we need to get to, because the ground does 50 damage per hit in certain areas when you step over them, so. But yeah, so we got about 5-6 levels to grind out here. Shouldn't take too long. Change log. Everybody has hit the early 30s here. Rosa just hit 32. I think that's sort of what my target was. Loosely going for that to, she just learned Float, which we're actually not about to go into the Sylph Cave or the Land of Monsters, so kind of a moot point in that sense, but still, it's a good point to get to, and then we'll hopefully pick up her Reflect spell, her wall spell, as it were, as we go to the Sealed Cave, which is our next destination. But let's pick it back up here. Pitch a tent at the end of this grinding sesh. But we're in much better position now to take on the Sealed Cave, which is just a short airship ride away from here. Everything's pretty close here in the underground. Just down to the south all the way in this little encaged area. Encaged? Might be making up words, but here we are in the Sealed Cave. The number of doors which you need to fight, they are called trapdoors here. They pay out 7,000 experience apiece, so that's why it's not the worst idea as we use the Luca key. Again, if I were the king of the dwarves, I would not trust that to this party, but hopefully with those levels, we're a bit more deserving of it now. We can hold our own a little bit better. Dropping down. And we get our first trapdoor right here. Cecil already knows. Apparently he's, we haven't come across one yet. Maybe his days as leader of the Red Wings before any of this happened. Came across a lot of trapdoors. Speaking of which, I'm not really sure why. Oh yeah, trapdoor has a move called Disrupt, which kills people instantly as soon as he targets them. Very angry. It's more teeth than I see on most doors these days. Then again, these are troubled times.
I had the trapdoor, no weakness, but if you're fast enough, in theory you can cast Reflect or Wall on the member of the party who's the upcoming target of Disrupt, that's the instant death ability Trapdoor likes to use, to instead reflect it back and kill the Trapdoor, but seeing as that's extremely difficult to do given how quickly Trapdoor gets that one off, just smack it around. It's got 5,000 HP. Note that it might turn into a monster midway through this battle, in which case you'll earn a little extra XP, but yeah, it's a relatively quick and easy battle for a decent payout.
Yeah, you'll get very familiar with them over the course of the Sealed Cave here. No longer Sealed Cave, broke the seal on the cave. Lots of loot. Just some basic, obvious upgrades like the long sword taking the place of the middle sword for edge. Either. Decent amount of good loot here in the sealed cave. And since we just put all that time in grinding, not going to waste our time on 3 werebats. Or 4 for that matter. The ropes seem like you shouldn't be able to go both ways on them, but you certainly can for what it's worth. Really want to grab ourselves the Excalibur and we can start duplicating that. As we'll talk about later. Right now, Kane's got the dentist tool. Yeah, I don't know. In the days before the king... There you go. Yeah, given enough time, they'll turn into a monster there. Now that should be worth about 7,000 experience. And the monsters are all pretty manageable. This Manticore's got a pretty decent attack in the... Alright, well, it's going to be more than 7,000 now, splitting it this way. 87.5. Not too shabby. We do want Ready to come along, though. Keep her on her feet. I like accidentally cutting out that base as we're interacting with the menu. So many trapdoors. Man, the days before Baron was evil, what was Cecil's job? Just kind of a Coast Guard type situation, but from the air, just being like, alright, checking in, everything's still fine. There's virtually no monsters. None of the other nations of the world, you know, they're all very peaceful, seemingly. Baron's the a-holes in this equation. There was world peace before King went all evil. So, yeah, I don't know when Cecil would come across a trapdoor. To put a bow on that thought from 15 minutes ago. 6 minutes ago, whatever. Yeah, I don't mind. It's not always the Manticore, but yeah, I don't mind the Manticores. I don't mind the extra enemies that pop up, because, yeah, they go down about as quickly as we'd be able to take down that trapdoor, so, and we get some more experience out of it. So we'll take that. All the different animations of the various weapons. There's your 7,000 apiece. Fire arrows. Last thing we need, but that's fine. It's what's behind the door that matters. It's a metaphor for life, really. And there's nothing behind it. That's perfect. I knew one of these two was empty. That's alright, we're still taking them all out because it's darn good experience for this point in the game. This is the kind of experience we're going to get in pretty much the final area of the game, but with a lot less hassle. Much safer. Yeah, Trapdoor definitely needs a dentist, and Kane's the man for it with that sword, except right now he's just gonna come crashing down from the sky on those teeth. Like some of the more risque dentists out there. I don't know what I'm saying. It's a long game. I'm not sure how they explain away the trapdoor turning into a manticore. Was there a manticore behind the trapdoor? And the trapdoor, you know, realizing its purpose, just disappeared? I don't know. Did it turn into a manticore? I don't know. Don't overthink it, just be grateful for the 7,000 XP. By the end of this, I'm guessing Rosa will be... Then I just focus on her because we want her wall spell when all is said and done. She'll be about level 36, give or take. She's already at 33. Love that Cure 3. Yeah, both those rooms are empty. There's the half rope, which I always love. I just like the animation of him going down the half rope. He's like, I don't know about that. That's the distressed animation for every character in this game. Every little sprite, just a little twirl. I don't know. Yeah, the rest of the enemies around here just not worth the time compared to those trapdoors. And you gotta fight the trapdoors anyway in most cases to continue on, get some nice loot, so focus on them. This is the hall of trapdoors. There's like 6 along this top row here. There's some good loot. There's a save area behind one of them, in case you need to pitch a tent. Yeah. I desperately want to throw some shurikens or something at these trapdoors, take them down a bit more efficiently, but we'll be responsible. We'll save them for later on in the game. Our party's gonna definitely come along here in the next in-game or in-video hour or so. Reddy in particular is gonna pick up some very nice... Yeah, I think I like that sound. I'm on the fence. I think it's satisfying. Plus it looks like a gum commercial when the actual animation. It's like, it cleans your mouth. I don't know. Listerine strip or something. Do they still have those? Might have gone the way of Banaka, I don't know. Not sponsored, by the way. Speaking of doors, by the way, in a different variety fluff, I'm told you have a relevant fact related to some kind of glitch, which I'm assuming has been long patched by now, but how about it?
Some early versions of the game had a famous glitch where, if players went back and forth between a door 64 times, the game would freeze. Squaresoft's brief-running, now long-gone newsletter, the Ogopogo Examiner, named after a boss of the same name in this game, jokingly claimed that the glitch was a trap placed by the final boss, Zeromus, naming it the 8-squared curse of extinction. The Ogopogo newsletter ran for only 5 issues from the spring of '92 to the fall of '94 and shared tips and info related to their games and promoted Square-related merch. It also covered upcoming projects from the company, notably mentioning in their initial spring '92 issue that Nintendo's long-awaited CD-ROM hardware was set to be released in the summer of '93. This is a reference to the SNES CD, a planned collaboration between Nintendo and Sony in the form of an add-on for the SNES, which would allow for the functionality of playing CD-based games. It's no surprise Square's mention of this, considering the main title in development for the ultimately cancelled SNES CD was Secret of Mana, a game which we did a class here on Video Games 101 as I addressed the failed partnership and add-on at length.
Yeah, Nintendo just wasn't fully sold on CDs as a format, thanks Fluff. They preferred the better anti-piracy security of cartridges and thought the relatively long loading times would be a breaking point for consumers, but history shows Nintendo was on the wrong side of that one. So yeah, that's why you could probably get away with level 30 when you're doing a little bit of grinding outside the Sylph and inside the Sylph Cave, because this place will take care of the rest of them, but still, being that I don't plan on stepping off to grind anymore until the very end of the game. Nice boost right there over that axe, and I'm going to give obtain the ogre axe. Yeah, he's outlived his drain lance. Got tired of all the minuses. What's that coming out of his, like his eyebrow or something? Is it a giant nail? Leave a comment. What's trapdoor sprouting there? Sprouting. Nice boost in the damage from Cecil now with the light sword. Might be slightly weaker to this as well, as a rule. Yeah, I guess we were doing about 800, so that bears out in the extra damage. And really the long lockpick. Yeah, Locke got to all these trapdoors before anyone else. And then, yeah, they started moving. He said, nope, I'm good. I'll be in Final Fantasy III if you need me. World's greatest treasure hunter. Him and Tristram. I've gotten in trouble comparing Tristram and Locke before. A lot of Locke fans out there, deservedly so. And there's one more chest over here to the right. Dual vamp ladies. Use some, yeah, you would expect them to be weak against the light stuff, but Flame should play well against these werebats. All these kind of undead leaning creatures. Just kind of waiting to see what this Flame does. Tasty. Oh, that one stubborn bat. Barely made it to pilot. That did not test well. One stubborn bat. That's some good damage right there. 2,600. Granted, it's a weakness, and there was no one in front of that vamp lady, but still, we'll happily take it. 5,000 bucks. Money's kind of irrelevant at this point in the game. Virtually everything we'll be wearing or wielding from here on out. Wearing and wielding. It's a good fantasy series title. It'll all be found loot, so. Found or made. In a couple specific cases. But money's good. Don't get me wrong. Starting to take out these trapdoors with a bit more efficiency, courtesy of the light sword. And Kane got an upgrade as well. He's looking good with those jumps. Come a long way since the early parts of the game. The early days. We'll be taking down one trapdoor before it's split. I swear it's not always manticores. I feel like that's all we've seen. Nothing in that door. But we're coming up on the safe spot, the safe circle. Yeah, the only thing to really buy at the very end of the game, late in the game, is I think the ninja stars for Edge, which dish out silly damage. Copy those with a very slow, painstaking trick, which was mentioned earlier, but might be worth it with those, honestly, because they're extremely expensive. I think they're 50 grand a piece, if not more. Get them very late in the game. Not Edge. Has Edge got the premature graying look with the hair there? Or is he wearing some sort of mask or something? What's the verdict on that as well? We've covered... I assume we've already covered the object in Trapdoor's forehead. Now let's talk Edge. Clearly still a young man. Some guys gray before others. Or earlier than... You know what I'm trying to say. Ah, come on now, that was so close. That'll do it. Probably do with the tent after all this excitement. Yeah, we got that just coming out, and there's another long sword. Pop the ninja hat on. There's the long sword. Now let's double back. Pitch ourselves a tent. Love coming in just from the side like that. Let's splurge with a cabin. Been using some magic. We're not going to go through probably 10 cabins by the end of the game. Onward. Southwestward. Yeah, you'd think with our hundreds of thousands of dollars we could afford pants that don't have holes in them. Cecil just loves the distressed look. I can't help it, you know? Can't reason with the man. And the stronger the monster, seemingly the faster and more jumpy we're running. Shaking our pockets as we run. Yeah, I think even in death, Cain has the coolest look. Or amongst the death poses, the swoon poses. It's not a thing you normally debate, but I think Cain has the best look when he's swooned. It's the coolest helmet. Take her out before he disrupts her. Alright, never mind. That was fast. It's close. Close. Freaking they don't have life. Yeah, he never goes beyond that, just those 6 spells. Better than nothing, I suppose. That's your break glass. When you need to rely on Cecil's Cure too, you know you're in trouble. Here's your 4 aware bats. And the grinding took about, say, maybe a half hour or so. But, maybe a bit more, but I think maybe gotten as much experience from all these trapdoors as I've gotten from that amount of time. Now, to be fair, I think we're going to spend about 30 minutes fighting all these trapdoors, so it's going to even out, but still. Be nice if you could fight trapdoors on demand after you can start throwing some swords at them. Well, you know, buy the trick a little bit later, but... It's Kind of silly giving us Cure 2s at this stage in the game in chests. She didn't mean to go down there. Still the trapdoor. Well, we'll hit that in a second. And a chest, I believe, as well. Yeah, stop me if you've heard that one before. There's a trapdoor up there. True to its name, this is the most sealed cave we've come across. Had to have a special key, which we worked very hard to get just to get access to this place. And then the ultimate goal is behind, which is the final crystal, is behind like probably 10 sealed or trapdoors. So yeah, that's Mr. Burns level security right here. Unfortunately, there's no screen door on falling off its hinges, no back door we can sneak in. Question is, how long will we get to hold on to this final crystal? And if Golbez couldn't get in here, why'd we even bother opening the door in the first place? Are these all questions that... Am I asking these for a reason? Well, stay tuned. Alright, just like in gym class. My goodness. Could have ridiculous upper body strength for that. Let's grab this chest first. It's like the end of Ninja Warrior, the original one. Mount, Doriyama. Forget what it was called in that show, but... That is ridiculous. They had that show on for like... Oh, let's fight this trapdoor. They had that show on for I don't know how many seasons it ran in that one iteration of it, but it was like 15 seasons, and I think they had 2 winners on the Japanese test of physical skills, endurance, strength, known as Ninja Warrior, which was brought to America and renamed American Ninja Warrior. But yeah, that final stretch, for those familiar with it, that vertical climb is like 100 feet in the air, just straight up a rope. That was the final challenge, and you only had like 30 seconds to do it. Good times. Again, the things you talk about when you're fighting your 18th trapdoor. I don't know why Golbez doesn't just use this little lightning attack, which he used to almost wreck Cecil. And yet he held back for some reason. So many questions still unanswered. Alright. So many empty rooms, by the way, as well. Again, that's why we're skipping these, just going in the rooms with purpose, rooms with treasure. One last safe spot before the boss. We're not quite there yet, though. There's some extra stuff before we get there. It's amazing that he can catch himself there. Up and around. One last trapdoor. So enjoy it. Not gonna miss that. Realize the purple disrupt is the same color as the ends of that trapdoor's teeth, I just realized. Thank goodness. Alright. Image. There you go. sure we're in good health for what's coming here. You know, they're not just going to give us that crystal, even though we fought through about 1,000 trapdoors to get it. Pretty. Alright. Right in the lockbox. Filch safe. Somewhere safe. Oh, alright. I guess we're good. They are just going to give us the crystal. Alright. The wall, it's moving. Let's destroy the trap then. Alright, evil wall.
The key with evil wall is to start fast, as once it gets close enough, it begins to use a move called Crush, which will instantly kill one party member at a time. Thankfully, if you're averaging about level 35, you should be able to handle this one just fine. Cast Slow at the top to slow this boss, have Cecil and Edge attack. Edge can alternatively throw projectiles at the boss, and have Rosa cast Berserk on Cecil and Edge as well if they're not using his Dart command, while Kane jumps and Rydia just keeps casting Virus, which does about 1,500 damage per turn. Otherwise, have Rosa keep everyone healed, keep this up, and he'll take him down before he gets too close to become a problem.
Good call, Gary. Yeah, let's use that virus. I love this sound, by the way. Very satisfying bit of Foley there. That won't take effect before we take you down. It's very, whatever carbonite. It's very Han Solo right there. The kind of the expression, just the imprint that it's making. And then it always kind of killed it for me. Took me out of this boss battle when you saw the end. Wait for it, one more or so. You see there's an end to the evil wall. All right, one more. Because you expect it to go all the way back to the left side. It is a wall. But all walls must end, I suppose. And we're about to see the end of this one. Right there. It just made it look... It's very behind the scenes. You know, you're seeing the Hollywood magic, and it just kind of ruins it for you. Come on now. Come on, Evil Wall. Come on, Squaresoft. You couldn't animate that thing all the way to the left. Yeah, why don't we just walk around the Evil Wall? Battle 1. Cue the fanfare. It's getting close. Yeah, someone wrote with their finger on the other side. Yang was here. Come on now. Yang and Yang's wife in a heart. I don't know her name. I don't think she has a name. I think it's just Yang's wife, actually. Alright, so it's very frustrating. They make you exit out on foot. And it's for the reason that I said earlier when we were trying to get out of the, I don't remember where it was. Was it the Tower of Babil, I guess, when you couldn't just leave. So we're going to hyperspeed this. Make sure we're healed up here. And the reasoning is because they need to stop you just as you're leaving. Like, alright, how about you just have us warp to, and we will pitch a tent here just for safety's sake. How about you just warp us to the front door and then have your confrontation with us? Because we know it's already kind of like tip in the hat that, yeah, you're going to steal the crystal when we get to the door. Someone's going to jump us or something. Very frustrating, though. There should always be a back door. A Mr. Burns style, hanging off of its hinges. But like most pieces in this game, I don't mind it at triple speed. It's kind of nice. We'll turn around here, going down this rope. And up. And around. Alright. What? Don't be surprised, Cecil. You know we weren't getting out of here with that crystal. This is so lame, though. It's Machina right here, just... It's so lazy. Nope, Kane works for the bad guy again. Very much like Tower of Babil can be reactivated. The way to the moon will open. Come, Kane. Come on, Kane. This is lame. Wake up. It's very Cloud being mind-controlled again late in Final Fantasy VII and taking the dark materia or what have you. Oh well. Alright, we got side quests to do before we stop Golbez from taking over the world. Hopefully he doesn't mind waiting for us. Let's go see King first. Hat in hand, tail between our legs again. Yes, we screwed up again. We're so pathetic. Unless the legend of the big whale comes true. You know what? Just leave it. You know Golbez is just going to steal it from us. Just going to jack the great whale. The big whale. Can't get close to the tower. Sid! We thought you were sleeping. There you go. Master Engineer. Sid at the rescue again. And another funny little cutscene here. Once again, Sid breaking the fourth wall. Edge just wants to hit on the ladies. I brought in an extra dwarf this time. One of the king's guards. But he's like, get back to work. We're trying to do side quests. That's how most of the emotions are expressed in the Final Fantasy IV universe. Twirls and jumps. Hyperspeed twirls and jumps. Speeds that we're not capable of. He's like, don't worry, Cecil, you don't have to do anything. I like you. You've done enough. Passed out again. I still like that line earlier from Rosa. Yeah, he's fine. He's fine. I mean, you've done more than enough, Sid. Keep modding that thing for us. Thanks, Sid. All right. You got it, Sid. You got it. All right, so we were leveling there earlier. I say we finally go there, clean the place out, and get rid of a pretty decent summon in the process as well. We may even run into a familiar face. Wait for it. So we can now tunnel back out to the above ground area, which we'll need to do as sort of part of this little side quest thing here, once we get there. Set her down. So now that Rose has got the float spell, she's had it for a while, but let's cast it. So we can avoid all of the glowing bits, which cause 50 damage per touch when we walk over them. No thank you, Maulball. Thing is, they could have fit in Marlborough right there. I don't know. So there's two different routes, ultimately, here in the Sylph Cave. There's the loot route, and then the Sylph route. We're going to hit the loot route first. Do you like saying loot route? Oh, and you got to reapply your float every time you go through a door, annoyingly. But it extends for the entire floor, so you can get into tons of battles. No one can cast Quake on you. No thank you, Toad Lady. I've seen enough of you off camera to last an entire playthrough of this game. Very haunting theme here. Which I'll admit I came up with lyrics for as a kid. You gotta sing something when you're playing this game, when you're doing the grind. Keep reapplying. Like sunscreen, it's just responsible. No thank you. I'll be speeding up whenever they back attack us or surprise us from here on. I just love that animation. I'm Cecil the Frog. I'm going to save the world. Want to use one on the Cecil there? No? Drat. Nothing to the right. You can walk in there, but... Alright, so this part's annoying. Each one of these has monsters. They're not all that difficult, but they're not easy. Bit of a grind. Let's make sure we're in tip-top shape before we open any of these up. Surprise. Here's my 6 ghosts I was thinking of. I knew they showed up in a 6-pack at some point. It is a good experience. And the ghosts are weak against ice, cold, water, all the above. So I was just praising the music for this room, certainly, but really for the entire game. It's just a fantastic soundtrack top to bottom, so let's bring in Fluff to share some facts about the background of the soundtrack and its famous composer. Fluff?
We can't cover a Final Fantasy game without acknowledging its excellent soundtrack and the series' longtime composer of the 80s and 90s, Nobuo Uematsu. Dozens of tracks were written for the soundtrack, which marked the series' debut on the Super Famicom. Despite affording greater freedom in utilizing a larger range of sounds simultaneously, which allowed for more complicated compositions, Uematsu described the process of creating the soundtrack as excruciating and involving a lot of trial and error, a blame he attributed to the much more complex hardware of the Super Famicom, which was initially difficult to adapt to. He and his sound staff purportedly spent many nights sleeping at Square's headquarters in sleeping bags in order to meet their deadline. The soundtrack album, titled Final Fantasy IV Original Sound Version, references this fact as Uematsu signed the liner notes for the album as being written at 1:30 a.m., quote, in the office, naturally, unquote. The soundtrack was one of many elements of the critically acclaimed game, which was met with near universal praise. One select track, which many consider to be the standout in the theme of love, is even taught to Japanese schoolchildren as part of their music curriculum. The aforementioned soundtrack is comprised of 44 tracks, spanning nearly an hour of music, and was released on June 14, 1991, a month or so ahead of the game's initial Japanese release. Several versions of the game were released, including a Celtic-inspired version, a piano version, and even a mini-CD known as the Final Fantasy IV Minimum Album, which contained arranged versions and unreleased tracks, including an alternate intro piece, which originally played over the intro before the Red Wings theme was deemed to be more fitting. While Uematsu left Square in 2004, he continues to perform pieces from this game as part of his Final Fantasy concert series.
Thank you, Fluff. Years ago, I attended an orchestra performance of the music of Final Fantasy. Obviously not conducted by Uematsu, but Yes, I highly recommend it if you get a chance. Fantastic. Pretty tasty, 82.75. I mean, sure, all the experience is a little bit nicer now that Kane's not in the group, now that we're a 4-piece.
Alright, the full moon is a ranged weapon. Equip it to Edge's right hand to do decent damage from the back row. Of course, that would mean putting one of your magic users in the front row at some point, so it's a judgment call. Edge is obviously low on the defensive stat, making it a compelling call for a lot of players, so it's your prerogative.
Just gonna speed this up a little bit. We've seen the ghosts. We've seen these combinations. You have to be a bit more careful with the maul balls in terms of speeding them up, but yeah, Shiva's the play. Shiva and Flood for these ghosts. Clears them out very efficiently. Just the 2 maul balls, a bit more manageable. Right before my big attack. Thankfully the heal doesn't dispel the float. That's not what we want right now. That would be awkward. There you go. Edge got it done. Yeah, they got about 2,000 HP, so get him, big man. There you go. Tidy. Just hops back over to celebrate with us. His tiny little arms. There's our Avenger. That's what we've been waiting for.
Alright, the Avenger is a powerful sword with a better attack than the majority of the swords in this game, but equipping it forces you into berserk status, so you lose control of that character in a blind rage. Still, if all you're using that character for is attacking like Cecil, it might not be the worst option, assuming you don't mind not being able to choose your target each turn. It's also a plus 10 in strength, agility, and stamina. By the way, we talked about what those stats translate to before, but yeah, it's got a minus 10 in intelligence and will. In other words, this is a blade for angry himbos, but yeah, there's also a neat little glitch trick you could do with this weapon, but I'll leave that one to Fluff.
Thank you, Blaze. Fluff, how about it?
As Blaze mentioned, and as I alluded to earlier, there's a neat trick you can do with the Avenger blade we recently got, which allows you to duplicate swords at will, which can be great for creating powerful throwing objects for Edge for late in the game. To do the trick, equip Cecil with arrows in his right hand and a bow in his left hand. Get into a relatively easy battle and have everyone parry until it's Cecil's turn. When it gets to his turn, go into the item screen, go up and select the arrows and drop them in an empty inventory slot. Now move the Avenger to the top left where the bow he was holding was. Exit out of the item window and Cecil will automatically attack as he now has the Berserk status courtesy of the sword as Blaze just covered. Keep parrying with everyone else until Cecil defeats the enemies. Hence my recommendation for a relatively easy battle to make it go quicker. After the battle, go to Cecil's equip screen. Move the Avenger to an empty slot, then move the sword you want to duplicate in his right hand. Dequip that sword, then re-equip it. And if you followed my instructions, you now have a bunch of that sword. I recommend doing this once we get what's meant to be one of the best in the Excalibur blade, to allow Edge to put up big numbers time and time again against your helpless foes.
Thank you, Fluff. Might try that myself later once we get a sword worth duplicating. Think I have an idea. That takes you outside, so we did the loot route. Let's hit our tents here. Still at 145. Let's do a few here. 3 ought to do it. Each one's not giving us back 100, but yeah, 245. Yeah, all right, so 100. And that should make sure we're all topped off. Been a minute since we saved. Or an hour and 5 minutes. Alright, so now we're going the Sylph route. Once again, get everybody off the ground here. Yeah, once we get the Excalibur, we'll do ourselves the Avenger trick. Get Edge something fun to throw. Thank you. It seems a bit premature, but you have the safe spot there. It's almost like they're acting as if this place doesn't split. We need to go to the left to progress things, but... Pop up here to get that one chest we couldn't get before. For an elven bow. Be very, very good in the hands of Rosa. Her weapon. But we never attack with her. Come on now. That's fine. Cabin, nice. Not sure what that floor is. Someone got there before us. We need to go up ultimately, but stop off here. Just can't be bothered. Probably doesn't run quite as fast as the rest of the party. Now loop around. And you can pop around, hit this chest here. I don't know why the loop extends to the top, but got monsters in this one. They might take care of me once they get to it here. One flame would take care of all of our problems. You got this, Edge? Jin would take care of it as well. Basically, don't turn Rydia into a frog. Don't hit her either, but mostly don't turn into a frog. You know, Cecil would have her back if they did try it. Love that. Don't know why they went away from all the standard names as we know them, you know. The Mute Dagger, aka the Mage Masher.
The Mage Masher may seem like a throwaway weapon, but true to its name, this thing is deadly against mages. Specifically an upcoming boss named Asura, which Gary will tell you more about very soon, so hold on to it.
Certainly will, thank you, Blaze. One more elixir. And then little Sylph house is just around the corner. And as I said, might run into a familiar face. Seems odd, this random house surrounded by all these monsters. Cat Claw and Poison Claw. Wow, humans! Did we know that? What are you doing here? Get out of here. It's Yang. How about that? Does anyone die from Ground Zero explosions in this game? Alright, so all we had to do was see Yang. So now we can take the Falcon with the drill. And quickly rush back to... I mean, you don't have to do it fast, but just in the interest of speeding things up here. Alright, yeah, we're finally making our escape from the underground. And we're going to Fabul now, where Yang's from, and it's... I get turned around sometimes. Should have like overworld map. There you go. It's kind of southeast, I guess, from... Agart, where we just came out of, but we're going to see Yang's wife, so hang around this way, make a left tower here. There she is. What? He's in the underground. This onion makes my eyes water. You don't have to, like, make excuses for getting emotional about your husband. Was she the one that I said was getting divorced? They were getting divorced? I forget. Can't keep our own lore straight. She gives us a frying pan, though. And let's rush back to... Alright, well, not back there. Back to the underground. By Agart again. I'm going to stop off the inn. Actually, it's cheaper here. Need anything? Probably grab some heals. Bag is full. I don't know why they just stack them automatically. Alright. Hyperspeed back to Agart. And back to the Sylph Cave, so yeah, just kind of north and west from there. Touchdown. Alright, rushing through once again, and we're going down, and left and down, up all the way. Sorry for the flickers. It's like we're playing a classic NES game. It's like we just took down Dr. Wily. Here we are. No thank you. Here we are. Alright. Now return with the frying pan. Pull it up in your inventory. No, don't. I like they instantly know what we're about to do. We pull out a frying pan at this guy's bedside. You're gonna smack him in the head, aren't you? Apparently this frying pan brought Yang back to his senses. Probably the last thing I would do to a man who survived a ground zero explosion was in a coma. But you can't argue with the results. I'm much better at fighting than you. Yeah, he is actually a lot better than you, Yang. It's recency bias, and of course in this game recency bias means the party member's a lot stronger than he is. Sure, I don't care, he can stay here, that's fine. And Fluff, I'm told you have a relevant hack to share?
Sylph is a nice call which does decent damage to its targets while simultaneously healing all party members for a moderate amount of HP. It's meant to cost 25 MP, but thanks to a very specific glitch, if you rearrange the call once you get it so that it's in the top rightmost of your calls list, it won't cost you any MP to use it in battle. Just note that you actually still need to have 25 MP to actually use it, but it still won't cost you anything.
Thank you very much, Fluff. So I moved it, so let's try it out here. See right here, she had what? 285 right now. And if you cast it when it's been rearranged to the top right position, like magic, how about that? I mean, we didn't see anything yet. Wait for it. Let's check. Confirm 285. Still there. I guess she just leveled up, but there we go. Love the hacks. All right, so let's race back. And we don't have to do this right now. We could put this off a bit, but just to kind of complete the Yang side quest thing here, if you want to call it that. It's a bit of a grandiose term. Go back to Fabul. we'll be coming back above ground eventually anyway, but if you return the frying pan to Mrs. Yang, take this with you. Spoon.
The spoon, more appropriately renamed the knife for later versions of this game, is the most powerful throwing weapon in the game for Edge and will generally post 9,999, that is the max damage. Like the ultimate joke from Quest for Glory 4, save this one until your back's against the wall. Truly a break glass in case of emergency situation. Personally, I recommend the final boss, but that's just me.
I'm in lockstep with you on that one, Blaze. Think. I realized I said that like Lenny. Spoon, a bigger spoon. All right. Let's crash one more time. Got our numbers topped off. And now it's time for the Land of Monsters, which is the other kind of dungeon back in the underground. Not quite as involved as the Sylph Cave. I mean, well, the dungeon itself isn't as bad. There's some bosses we'll fight, but this tiny little island in the southwest of the underground. Once again, get float going. They had the same security company as they have in the Sylph Cave. Yeah, this is where you came from, Rydia. When Leviathan swallowed you up. So we'll get some loot along the way. This one's a bit more straightforward than the Sylph Cave as well. Less multiple, diverging routes, things like that. Yeah, the Conjure is part of the reason we don't grind here in the Land of Monsters, or the way to the Land of Monsters. They call in enemies, and it's just like those fiends, they're just putting out the vibes, trying to look cool. Could see them hanging out by the jukebox. Conjurer. Yeah, they call in enemies that are pretty... Yeah, they just don't pay out like you want them to. That's why I prefer the Sylph Cave. Depending on what they summon, but yeah, it's roll the dice. There's like 6 different things they could call in, so... I like the effect in the background. You could see like the lower floor moving around beneath us. You see chests and such. Nice little effect, even if it's not consistent with what's actually down there, as we'll see. I'll make sure to point out here in a moment. Once we get to the actual Land of Monsters, this is just sort of the route to it. But believe it or not, there are some chill monsters here in this world. Maybe all the monsters were like this before Golbez did his thing. Important item down here for grabbing ourselves a very powerful sword as well. No thank you. Poison Axe Ninja Sword. Pop that on Edge right now. Upgrade. Let's reverse these actually. Got the Ninja Sword in his right hand there, looking good. And it looks like that cuts through, but that's a one-way. Or not a one-way, it's a no-way. There's only half of that is open. That's actually the Land of the Monsters down below. Monsters. 5 warriors. What are you feeling, Edge? Blitz. Get some free health for everybody by way of Sylph. They don't kill her before then. One of us. Basically amounts to a Cure 2 spell. Something along those lines. It's not great, but it's, you know, on the upside it does take damage away from the enemy that you target as well, so. And it's free. And we're cheating like this. Cheating, yeah. What is that pose? Speaking of poses, can't be good on your knees. Or we meant to believe there's an invisible bar stool they're sitting on or something. I don't know. They don't look like they're primed and ready to attack me. They look like they're just waiting for orders. They've been waiting for a very long time. It's better than nothing. Defense sword, that's an upgrade. Over that garbage light sword. I mean, it's close. It's a situation-specific sword. You can cut through here. But there's one last chest we didn't grab, which you have to come around to get. Alright, now we're getting to the land of monsters proper. Did anyone else ever sing? You came back. Wait for it to loop again. There's one monster here, if you talk to him, he says, those monsters in the above world are misbehaving themselves. Going around attacking us. Samurai bow. Getting a lot of tasty bows for Rosa. We are the monsters. This is our world. Callers summon us in. So this is the item I was referring to. The important item which we need to grab. So you gotta come back through the warp here. And then open it up. And the rat tail. Very useful item for ultimately getting ourselves the Excalibur. What do we got going on here? I want to get that Mage Masher on edge here in a second. We'll need it for the upcoming battle. And I'm too precious with these arrows. I'm a Final Fantasy IV hoarder. A little space here. 1,200 bucks. Guess a monster's gotta make a living. Always wondered where all these monsters that we kill get their money. Now we know. Travelers. Folks who are passing through. It's not worth trying to talk to you. Everyone loves Rydia. I like this guy. He's like, Rydia, don't go again. And we start looting his house. He's like, all right, you can go. Get out of here. Not a bad idea to use this safe spot here because we're taking on a couple bosses here in just a second. We will pop in there in just a second. Let's just check your armor shop and your weapon shop here. Can you humans use our weapons? Oh, it's you, Rydia. grab the, yeah, I guess we're in good shape, actually. We've outgrown our long swords for edge now. Living in the past. Living an hour in the past. Here, got you a new chain for when I never attack with you. Better to give her a staff, which enhances her magical abilities. We'll do that later. For the final stretch of the game. Bomb work in the counter. We want to live in peace. I don't like humans wandering around in a place like this. Oh, except for you, Rydia. Get the better shield. Get rid of all these little dinky swords. Changed my mind about tossing them. Bandana, yeah. Some very old loot still hiding in our pants. The old chain, power staff. Now we'll grab a couple sorcerer outfits for the ladies. Just sticking them wherever we got room in our pants. Stuff we just bought. There you go. It's like the kind of thing I do when I'm, you're somewhere. You're like, at a restaurant or something, or takeout place, and there's a line behind you, and, you just pay as quickly as possible to stuff your wallet back in your pants. It's not, I don't know where I'm going with this. All right, let's pop on the Mage Masher now. In this game referred to as, I guess, the Mute Dagger. I don't know. But extremely important for this next boss. As we will discover. Where do you go to fight bosses in the land of monsters? The library, of course. You got Naming Way hanging out. The one on the right. Shh, this is a great book. Do you have literature in the world of humans? Only one moon shone. King summoned monsters created us. Reflect back his power. King of the monsters, you say? Fun game, by the way. Alright, so talk to this lady on the right first, Queen Asura. And this will take us into our first of two boss battles here. Asura.
Boss beaters. Before we get into anything else, make sure you equip Edge with the Mage Masher ahead of this battle, as it deals 4 times its normal damage against its boss. But with her penchant for healing herself with powerful level 3 and 4 cure spells, Asura can be a handful, unless Rosa is at least level 34. If she is, and she should be if you're following along, use Wall on Asura the first turn you get with Rosa to ensure that any of these spells she tries get bounced back at you. While this means you can't cast conventional spells on the boss, this doesn't extend to Rydia's calls, so you can keep using a summon like Sylph to do some damage and keep the party healed, along with Rosa's cures, and those you get from the boss herself. At that point, the only real threat is Asura's third head, which admittedly lands heavy melee attacks when it comes up, but between Rydia's calls and strong melee attacks, especially from the aptly named Mage Masher, you shouldn't have any problems with this boss.
Thank you, Gary. If only that Mage Masher had put up those kind of numbers regularly against everyone we use it against, but nope. Pretty much a one-shot thing right here. Satisfying, though, as it is while it lasts. And then, all she can do is some low-level melee attacks, or low-damage melee attacks. Not difficult in the least with that spell. Just incentivize Edge to slash even harder with that thing. One more stab might do it. Do it. 6688. Going out on top. Good win. 5,000 XP. Could be better, but So now Rydia has gained the ability to call Asura on demand. I now heal up as we got back-to-back. More difficult battle, I would say, between the two. Don't need the Mage Masher anymore. Nice. Yeah, sounds good. Alright, Leviathan, aka Leviathan.
Boss beater.
What is it with these bosses with their random extra few HP? Does Squares think that one extra damage is going to be the difference? Anyway, if you're averaging late 30s for levels for your party, this one isn't difficult, it's just time consuming. Being a water-based boss, this one is marginally weak against thunder or lightning attacks, so I like Indra as a call. The only thing to worry about is roughly once a turn, the boss will bust out a decently powerful move called Big Wave, which will hit everyone in your party for roughly 400 damage on average. As long as you keep on top of your cures, with Rosa, alternating between Cure 3 and Cure 4s on the entire party as necessary, you shouldn't have too much difficulty. It'll just take a few minutes. Win the battle and earn the Leviathan call for Rydia.
Yeah, this is just a long, time-consuming one right here. I said it's not necessarily difficult, it's just if you got the level. But thank you, Gary. Just lots of lightning. So you're the guy that knocked us out of our boat earlier, by the way. Thanks for that. Thanks for making us think that Yang was dead and dropping me at Mysidia on my own. Get turned into a toad. And a pig. It's a big day. Yeah, that's his move, the big wave. That's all he's got. But it's a good one. It's a crowd pleaser. I guess that's the move that knocked us off our boat. Well, some of us off our boat. Well, Rydia off the boat. Yang went in after her, to his credit. Edward just sustained a head injury while he freaked out. If memory serves. Man, I forgot all about Edward. He's that kind of character. They can't put a bard in a Final Fantasy and make him cool, at least not in this game. Just a grind. Turns his back. I don't know you. Only turns to look at us when it wants to big wave us. Come on, Indra. Yeah, it's not gonna get it done, Leviathan. I bet you just wave the white flag right now. Like, clearly, the strategy's not working. We got this. Should berserk some of the fellas. Got a fun summon battle coming up not too long after this, actually. I think that'll be our next side quest stop off, and it's a quick one. I'm incentivizing you to stick around. That's how poorly this battle's going. Not in terms of the outcome, but just the general audience retention. That's how I feel. Stick around. Odin's coming up. Odin. However you want to pronounce it. Thank goodness. Alright. 7,000. I'd rather fight a trapdoor. But we got Leviathan.
Now that we've defeated Asura and Leviathan, we've earned 2 more useful calls. Asura picks between 3 support effects, either curing the party in full, reviving the party, or shielding the party. The curing is obviously huge in the right circumstances in a tough boss battle, but it's not always gonna be what you get to roll the dice, so you gotta be careful. Leviathan is your basic powerful tsunami attack and probably should be your go-to offensive call, full Rydia for the time being on bosses until we get something better in a little bit.
Good call. Might be wondering, do we have to go back to the start? No, thankfully there is a kind of tucked away secret warp switch. This is kind of hidden too. It's right here at the bottom. All right, back on the Falcon. Let's head topside. And for this one, we need to swap out our ships. This is the one with the crane on it. So let's grab the hovercraft. We're going to take this to the little chain of islands that we saw earlier outside of, what was it, Silvera. Drop it right about here. And then take it. This is the only way you can access this tiny little island here. This is the Grotto Adamant. He collects tails. I just happen to come in possession of a tail. So let's give him the rat tail. Okay, take the ore. Here's the adamant. And if you visited the southeastern region of the underground, then you'll know that that guy was looking for some adamant at the blacksmith down there, which he will use to create the ultimate sword. Well, not really the ultimate. There are better swords, but still, it's really good. Strictly speaking, we don't really need the hovercraft anymore, but I don't want to let it rot there. Let's take it over to the, I like to keep all my stuff together. There you go. Keep it just offshore so no one can jack it. You have to first jack our hovercraft, our airship, by which I mean, first jack the airship, then you can jack the hovercraft. But let's drop this adamant off back at the forge down here, or at the forge, because we haven't come here yet. The smiths. About to make a Johnny Marr joke, and then I thought better of it, but I still said it. There is some hidden loot here. Not gonna make another sword. I can't even find the legendary ore. Read and weep, pal. Get to work. Your old sword into a great one. So he took our legend sword. He's gonna make it into something that's relevant. There you go. And don't forget to steal his elixir off the bookshelf. He's all excited. He's inspired again, and we just rob him of his very valuable elixir. Come back later, he says. Alright, we don't have to wait too long. But we can't just wait around for it. We need to do something else before it will be ready, so. Alright, so in the meantime, before we finally prioritize Golbez and saving the world, let's go to Baron. And we're going to take on that very exciting summon Elemental. Not elemental. Call. That's what I was trying to think. Which I hopefully incentivize you to stick around for earlier. You might want to stay at the inn before you do this. Yeah, not the only tail which we can get in this game. There is an exceedingly rare pink tail, which we can only get a little bit later. Well, at the end of the game, but it's extremely difficult to get. We'll talk about it when we get there. But for now, again, no one manning the front door. Come on, fellas. It's not a good look for Baron. Remember when that guy said he heard voices from the basement? Alright, gotta start fast in this one, so let's go to Gary early. Gary, how about Odin?
Boss beater.
Alright, you have a very limited amount of time, which is why I recommend that the majority of your party is at least level 40 before you take on Odin. Even then, you'll need a little luck to defeat him, as if he focuses all his attacks on Rydia, then you probably won't have enough time to dish out enough damage to take him down before he uses his Odin move, which will average 4,000 damage per party member, and thus kill them all. You gotta start fast, literally being able to shave a few seconds off your collective turns during this battle by knowing how many times you need to press up or down to get to the selection you want can be the difference between winning and losing. You may even want to lower the battle speed in the settings for this one ahead of this battle, by which I mean raise it to the slowest setting of 6 so that you're not punished for not immediately getting your moves in. With all that in mind, the strategy is to have Edge use Blitz, Rydia call Indra, and Cecil attack, while Rosa casts Fast on Rydia and Edge in that order. Indra is typically the heaviest hitter here, dealing out at least 5,000 damage per use. Pair a couple of these with 1 or 2 of Edge's Blitz attack and Cecil's melee attack, and you should be able to eke this one out before Odin uses his namesake party defeating attack. The tell is when he raises his sword. You know it's coming within the next few moves that you have. Good luck.
Thank you, Gary. Keep an eye on his sword. Oh, God. It's getting close. Oh, we need this to do it. Or we need Edge to get one in. It's going to be so close. Oh, thank goodness. He's about to Odin us into oblivion. There you go. Yeah, Your Majesty gained a very powerful summon right there in Odin.
Now that we've taken down Odin, we've earned the Odin Call. This is an incredibly powerful call, which has a chance to instantly defeat all enemies on the screen, minus those who are immune to the death effect, plus bosses. Still, don't be afraid to give this one a try. It's pretty ridiculous and satisfying.
Certainly is. Thank you very much, Blaze. Well, now, I think we put it off long enough. Let's head back to Mysidia and summon in the Great Whale. If it exists. I'm not so sure myself. I'm not sold. And Mysidia is pretty much due east of Baron, just a bit south as well. It's actually really close. Makes you wonder how we were flying for so long in that intro, actually. Maybe we got lost. Yet another one of the many reasons of why they fired Cecil. And they'll greet us at the door, I believe, or the bush. Going right through that black mage. One to be born from a dragon, hoisting the light and the dark. Kind of contradictory, but arises high up in the sky to the still land, veiling the moon with the light of eternity. It brings another promise to Mother Earth with a bounty and mercy, and I don't know what that accent was. I do not know what that accent was. Wish everyone the legend. Wish for the legend. That's right. Wish for the whale. Don't pray. Thank you, Nintendo of America's censorship guidelines. God bless America. Separation of church and game right there. Courtesy of Nintendo. But there it is. Leviathan again? Our wish was granted. How about we wish for Golbez to just kind of die? Or stop being evil? Ah! And the great whale. That is the ship of light from the moon. The big whale. I called it the great whale. The big whale. I don't know. It seems more great than big, but it's both. While wishing, I heard a voice calling for you to come to the moon. That's right. We're going to the moon. Remember when you thought it was a big deal when you got to fly through the air in an airship? Before we do that, though. It's a little anticlimactic. Spent all that time wishing for me. Wishing for the ship, the starship to take us to the moon. We're like, hold on. I'll pick up my dry cleaning. It's going to land on this guy's smith. Now that will trigger your ability to collect Excalibur. You don't have to actually go to the moon, but yeah, as soon as the whale is in play, assuming you've already given him the ore, he will give you Excalibur.
The mythical Excalibur, or Excalibur, is far and away the best sword we've found so far. We will find better, but this adds a +10 to strength, but maybe more importantly, this is a great sword to duplicate using Fluff's aforementioned hack to throw again and again by edge to assist with your grinding late in the game.
Alright, I said I was waiting for a worthy sword before we tried this duplication trick. Let's get into a dirt easy battle. Alright, so to do this, take everything out of his hands first. Give him some arrows in the right hand, the bow in the left hand. Into a battle. You're being used, Needler and Sword Rat. I just want you to know from the start, at the top of this battle, you are being used. Alright, once we get a turn with Cecil here, do it exactly as Fluff described. Unequip the arrows. Put them in an empty slot, and then put the Avenger. Where's the Avenger? Put the Avenger in the left hand. Let him do his thing. Speed this up at this point, I suppose. You used us! I'm sorry, I don't feel bad about it. Alright. And now we got the 2 there. Take off the Avenger. Equip Excalibur. Unequip it, and there we go. Looking good. So now I believe... I think that's a 5. I think that's how that works. Hold on, let's get into one more battle. We'll have Edge do his thing here. Just can't help 52 Excaliburs. We worked so hard to make the 1. Just can't help myself. Alright. Let's head to the moon. Get our shield back in place here. Was it the Aegis shield there? To the stars. Actually, let's check out the digs first. We got these beds on demand. No more paying at inns, $1,300 to a monster, or $1,200 to a monster like a sucker. We can now sleep for free on demand. And look, what big whale would be complete without a fat chocobo in the aft? Alright, should we actually store some stuff finally? What am I not going to use for a while? or the rest of the game. Such a hoarder. That. Some, yeah, the fire. We got plenty of Excaliburs now to toss. We don't need to hoard swords anymore. Hoard swords. Gotta hold on to that spoon, that's for sure. Don't lose them, Fat Chocobo. So interact with the crystal to travel between the moon and the earth. And then you can go up to the top to actually fly the thing. And we'll pick back up on the moon in the final part of this Final Fantasy IV walkthrough right here on Video Games 101. Hope to see you for that one. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and comment on this video and click subscribe if you haven't already, as this seriously helps me to keep making great content for you.